ang mga tumatakbo dyan at ang mga nakaupo sa ating gobyerno ay mga kriminal. You have Bong Revilla, di ba? For example, you have Amy Marcos. So parang, if you shift it to federalism, hindi naman matatanggal sa pwesto yung mga yan. Rather, what you will do is you will give them more powers to have more control over their own pseudo-feudal lands.
Dali lang. Nagtanggal ako ng buka ilong. Kali. Okay, sige. Going back.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat, mga kupal. Welcome sa panibagong episode ng ating programang tumatalakay sa mga isyong bumabagabag sa ating lipunan, sa ating bansa, at sa ating pamamayan. Ako yung host si Kit Pang, at ito ang Bagong Liwanag. For our episode today, we will be talking about, pag-uusapan natin isang topic na matagal na namin pinag-usapan pero hindi ko alam kung bakit namin pinag-uusapan. Maybe it's because hindi siya ganun katunog lately, pero this is something of utmost importance na dapat matutunan natin at malaman natin mga Pilipino. Ang topic, ang subject ng federalism o federalismo. Para sa inyong lahat na nanonood dito, alam nyo naman siguro na ang federalism o ang pagbabago ng ating konstitusyon at ng form of government, basically, isa sa mga promises na ginawa ni Lord Gongdi nung siya ay tumatakbo pa lamang na presidente. Also, federalism has been on the record ever since kay Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, di ba? Siya yung isa sa mga gusto talagang i-push yung charter change ng panahon niya at mabago ang mode of government ng Pilipinas from unitary form of government to federalist form of government. Pero one thing na karamihan ng mga Pilipino or most people don't understand is what is federalism all about? Ano nga ba talaga ang federalism? Bakit nga ba maraming mga tao ang gustong magkaroon tayo ng federalist type of government? And bakit may mga tao naman na against sa federalism? And bakit nga ba sobrang tagal or sobrang bagal ng progress ng ating gobyerno, ng administrasyong ito, specifically when it comes to pushing for a change of government, which is basically federalism. But before we move on to our discussion, I would just like to tell you guys na we have Twitter. Follow nyo kami sa Twitter, as well as if you would like to support whatever we are doing here, buy us a beer. We have patreon.com account, patreon.com/Bagong Liwanag. Do check us out there. So, basically, let's talk about federalism. Ano nga ba ang federalism? Ngayon, ang source ko will be more of a Federalist 101 or for idiots, written by San Beda University and lecturer at the UP Law Center and former Comelec Commissioner Rene V. Sarmiento. So ito, babasahin ko lang kung ano yung sinulat dito ni Mr. Sarmiento, kung ano ba ang federalism, as well as yung mga argumento for and against federalism. So ano nga ba ang federalism? So federalism is a mixed or compound mode of government which involves a central or federal government and then yung regional governments, which includes the provincial, the state, territorial, other subunit governments, wherein there will be division of powers between these two levels of government, but they are basically equal. Diba? So, at the current state kasi natin ngayon, the unitary form of government, meron tayong national government, which is yan, Malacanang and Manila, which acts as the sovereign government over everybody else. And then yung mga states, yung mga administrative arms, yung mga ibang mga probinsya, mga regions, they are basically under the national government. So mangyari from this kind of government na kung saan may sovereign government, national government, then everyone else is under that. Kapag magiging federal government tayo, yung central or federal government which sits at Malacanang will share equal powers with other federal governments in federal states all throughout the country. So basically, there will be a separation but equal powers between these states. So mangyari dyan, in a nutshell, you will empower regional or federal states from all across the country. So, ang main argument dito ng mga pro-federal governments or pro-federalism is matatanggal yung pagiging hegemonic or imperialist ng central government. Kaya nga maraming mga Bisaya tinatawag yung Manila as Imperial Manila. Kasi yung mga nasa ibang regions, they feel disempowered, they feel disenfranchised. Kasi bakit yung lahat ng pera, lahat ng buwis ng gobyerno natin napupunta doon sa central government? Whereas kapag nagkaroon tayo ng federal kind of government, the federal states will get everything dun sa all the fruits of the products of labor. Everything will be decided by the federal state itself. So hindi na siya yung parang ano kami sa central government. So it's basically decentralization all throughout. So, that's federalism. Ano nga ba ang mga advantages ng federalism? So ito, according to Rene Sarmiento, the sharing of powers in a federal system will ensure that the federal states will have ample powers to develop their own social, economic, and political potentials. With adequate powers, the federal states will be able to modernize themselves. As they modernize, the political stability of the whole country will be strengthened. So ito yung pinakauna nga na argument na sinabi ko kanina. Kaya marami mga pro-federal government, pro-federalism, kasi yung central government hindi na makikialam sa mga federal states, sa mga federal governments. So yung mga federal governments, mas mabilis na sila makakapag-act, mas mabilis na sila makakapag-process, mas mabilis na silang makakapag-modernize. And as well as yung mga resources ng federal state nila, whatever you call it, a region, a province, or whatever, it will all go to the federal state. So, yung central government, medyo ek na lang siya, basically. Ganun lang yung mangyayari. Another thing, the creation of Bangsamoro Federal State is the only constitutional and legal means of dissipating the causes of Muslim rebellions and of laying the foundations of a just and lasting peace in Mindanao. The adoption of the federal system will enable the Bangsamoro a fuller opportunity to promote their own identity and culture and their own economic development at their own pace without the need of seceding or declaring their independence from the Republic. So ito, kaya marami din ang mga pro-federalism, it's because of the problem in Mindanao. Wherein, kung alam naman siguro natin, yung mga Bangsamoro na yan, they've been laying their claim on their ancestral lands, on the Bangsamoro itself, ever since time immemorial. Sobrang tagal na ng pagpupush ng Bangsamoro for their own independence. So some people have been suggesting that they secede, which basically mean kapag sinabi mong secession, aalis sila mismo from the Philippines and they will make their own state. Parang yung nangyari dati sa South Ossetia and Abkhazia. Saan nga ba yun, men? Sa Georgia ba yun? Or basta it's somewhere in former Soviet Union.
Serbia and Kosovo.
Oh, yun, Serbia and Kosovo din. So basically, parang ang inisip ng central government or ng mga people who are in the Bangsamoro discussion, sabi nila, the only way for us to really give Bangsamoro people their full independence, the full control, is if we turn into a federal state. If we turn it into a federal state. And hindi magkakaroon ng federal state of Bangsamoro if we do not change the system of government to federalism. So basically, isa ito sa mga nakikitang mga lunas para sa problema ng rebellion ng ating mga kapatid na Muslim sa Mindanao, and as well as as well as yung pag-promote ng kanilang sariling identity and culture. So, basically, when it comes to the Bangsamoro debate, federalism seems to be the most logical step to take. Another advantage ng federalism, it's the concentration of power and resources in the President of the Philippines over fiscal resources and appointments in the bureaucracy can be used to secure economic rents and accumulate wealth which can be easily abused, which basically forwards corruption. When corruption reaches intolerable limits, political conflicts intensify and instability emerge. So ito, makikita natin, right now, what is happening is, we give the president, we give Lord Gongdi so much power, so much executive power. We give the president all sorts of powers when it comes to appointing people, when it comes to budgets, when it comes to basically everything that is related to government. So kapag ginawa mong federalist ang ating government, these powers will be diminished and it will be transferred to other heads. Federal heads, basically.
Governors.
Federal governors. which makes some sort of checks and balances to the president's power. So ganun yung parang nakikitang theory on political attitude, parang ganun. I'm thinking of a word, pero basically yun na yun. So, ini-imagine natin on theory na when we shift from a unitary to a federal form of government, mababawasan natin ang corruption. Another advantage is the Philippine experience under a unitary system of government limits the space for local governments to take initiatives and become self-reliant, which is very true. Kasi isipin mo, for example, kapag every time na mangyayari na disaster, the local government has parang umaasa pa sa central government. Di ba? Like for example, nung Yolanda, hindi nila alam kung anong gagawin, what we're gonna do with the warehouses of clothes, of food. Kailangan pa nila maghintay ng go signal from the central government, which sometimes, or usually, most of the time rather, takes so long. Sobrang bagal ng bureaucracy sa Pilipinas na to the point na kapag by the time na nakapag-go na yung central government, yung local government, yung mga tao doon, patay na. Patay na sa gutom, marami na nabatay, marami na nasirang buhay. Di ba? So, in a federal form of government, the local units will be mobilized kaagad. Kasi wala na, hindi nila kailangan hintayin pa yung go signal ni Bongo, ni Digong, ni whoever is there in power, di ba? So, mas magiging efficient and effective yung mga LGUs when it comes to providing the needs of its constituents. Eto, another thing, last advantage na sinulat dito ni Mr. Sarmiento, in a unitary government, the people are ruled by dynasties. It's run by economic elite, threatened by criminal syndicates. Ito yung mga sinasabi nila mga oligarchies daw. It is far more difficult to capture powers of government in a federal state than a unitary state. Which is, paano ko ba siya i-explain?
Hindi ba magiging dynastic din yun kahit federal?
Hindi, actually, nasa kasama yan sa disadvantages of ano. Pero, ang theory kasi dito, the idea behind this is, kung in a centralized government, in a unitary government, the federal heads, the governors, the feudal lords, mas ano sila tawag mo nga dito, they have the incentive to rule kapag binabasbasan sila nung president. Alliances, kumbaga. Whereas, kapag ginawa mo kasing federalist yung government mo, wherein whatever the president says doesn't really matter, yung mga nandun sa locals, sa regional levels, mas they can challenge the people who are in power. Kasi decentralized na siya So parang mas magkakaroon ng transparency when it comes to elections. Parang ganun yung dating niya, men. Di ba?
In a perfect world.
Yes. Theoretically. Kasi the thing is, all of these advantages that are being presented for federalism, we have yet to try all of these. We have yet to see this for ourselves. Kasi, kaya nga may mga taong against federalism kasi they are contradicting these advantages. Diba, na instead of, for example, sinasabi nga dito ni Mr. Sarmiento na it will diminish oligarchies, for example, there are people who actually believe that it will intensify dynasties, it will intensify oligarchies. Kasi if you look at the current system ngayon, in a unitary system, ang dami mga political dynasties that are already empowered in regional levels. Diba? For example, sa amin, sa Southern Leyte, we have the Mercados. Or, for example, magbigay ka ng ng specific example ng mga ganyan. May alam ka ba? Like yung mga political dynasties, like for example, in Davao, you have the Dutertes. Ganon. So parang, instead of, yun nga, in theory, parang mas madali daw siya, mas hindi daw ma-intensify yung dynasty. But in reality, you have to think na karamihan na ng mga regions, mga provinces in the country are already dominated by political dynasties. So, kung biglang gagawin natin siyang federal form of government, then you're just giving more powers to these regional feudal lords. So kung ano yung kapangyarihan na nila na meron sila ngayon, you will further intensify those powers.
Ay, mga ampatuan.
Diba? Yan, mga ampatuan, exactly. Or like yun nga, mga the Dutertes of Davao, or like sabihin natin, the Rojases of Iloilo, mga ganon.
Sila Villafuerte.
Yan, diba? So, parang, that's one of the disadvantages naman, na parang sinasabi ng mga anti-federalism, paano natin malalabanan ang korupsyon? Paano natin malalabanan ang political dynasties? Paano natin malalabanan ang oligarkiya kung ang mga mismong nakaupo na ngayon ay mga political dynasties, mga oligarkiya? Ang mga tumatakbo dyan at ang mga nakaupo sa ating gobyerno ay mga kriminal. You have Bong Revilla, di ba? For example, you have Amy Marcos. So parang, if you shift it to federalism, hindi naman matatanggal sa pwesto yung mga yan. Rather, what you will do is you will give them more powers to have more control over their own pseudo-feudal lands. At hindi lang yun, mas binibigyan po sa mas maraming pera, which makes it more susceptible to corruption. Diba? Ito yung mga disadvantages, ito yung mga arguments ng mga tao against federalism na kung kurakot na yung mga yan ngayon, mas magiging kurakot sila. So, lahat ng mga theoretical advantages na iniisip natin na mas mamobilize yung LGUs, mas magkakaroon ng socio-economic modernity sa regional level, they don't fly because federalism on paper doesn't have teeth. Alam mo ba, for example, alam nyo ba, men, na wala man lang anti-political dynasty, tawag mo dito? Walang anti-political dynasty na clause sa most recent federalism charter na ginawa ng House of Representatives. Eh kasi alam naman natin na yung nagsulat nun is si Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, who is one of the most corrupt, one of the most evil, one of the most, I gotta say, one of the most impressive tyrants in Philippine history. Sobrang bilib ko sa poke ng inang Gloria na yan. Alam mo, kahit ano, yung, di ba, kahit alam mo, criminal siya pare, pero like, I mean, there are some criminals that you just adore.
Kahit mag-admit siya ng ano.
Di ba, like, iba eh, parang, di ba, hindi siya, di ba, like, iba yung ano ni Gloria talaga eh. Pero anyway, here, aside from that, here are the other disadvantages of federalism. According to Mr. Sarmiento, establishing a multi-layer government structure consisting of central and regional governments will be costly, which creates an enlarged and bloated bureaucracy, which is very true. Kasi in order for us to change from a unitary to federal system of government, we have to change everything. We have to change a lot of things, and in order for us to change a lot of things, marami na naman tayong ilalagay dyan ng mga tao na kayo bahala dyan. Oh, so, bloated na naman ang bureaucracy.
Federal state, kanya-kanyang cabinet, di ba?
Yes.
So may DepEd view. Kunyari,
Oh, may sarili siyang DepEd, may oh. 'Di ba? So, hindi lang bloated yung bureaucracy, but it also provides for redundancy. Nagiging masyadong superficial na yung mga government offices natin. Ito, another one. The Philippine Institute for Development Studies, or the PIDS, puts the additional cost in the range of 44 to 72 billion, which doesn't even count changes in the judiciary. So can you imagine that? In order for the Philippines, in order for us to change from unitary to federal form of government, the government has to spend at least 44 to 72 billion pesos. Imagine, 44 to 72 billion pesos, ilang milyong Pilipino na mga mahihirap, mga gutom, walang tirahan, ang pwede ng pakainin, patirahin, at bigyan ng proteksyon ng 44 to 72 billion pesos. If you really think about it, kailangan ba talaga natin mag-change ng government, or do we just need to reallocate our resources and to reprioritize the levels of policies that we create, di ba? Kasi kung isipin mo, kailangan ba talaga natin yung federalism na yan? What if we just allocate this money to actually helping poor people? Di ba? Hindi ba mababawasan yung mga yung mga mahirap, and then ma-achieve natin yung mga gusto nating yung mga gusto natin ng mga advantages through federalism, yung mga mobilized LGUs, yung mga socio-economic development, di ba? At the end of the day, if we have that budget, why can't we use it to directly empower, directly help the poor Filipino people? Ito, sabi niya, yung sinabi ko kanina, federalism will strengthen political dynasties in the regional governments, perpetrate themselves in power, and amass vast wealth through corruption. So, di ba? Again, ito yung isa sa mga disadvantages. And federalism will make the poor poorer because they will be burdened with taxes of all kinds to support and maintain the federal central government and the regional government. So, ito pa, isa ito sa mga malaking mangyayari, one of the biggest things that will happen in a federal form of government. ang magiging buwis ng mga tao ay mas tataas because they have to both pay the central government and the federal government at the same time. And think about it, we're already burdened with so much taxes sa current system natin that to the point na people could barely afford to eat 3 times a day and send their kids to school. Di ba, imagine nyo nga yun, ang DepEd nga ngayon, ay, nakalimutan ko sa politika pa yun, the DepEd, sobrang laki ng kinat sa budget nila. Like, instead, they asked for funding for more than 60,000 classrooms, they only got funding for 8,000. So parang ganon. So parang imagine that. And ito, another one, the principle of federalism, which is local autonomy, subsidiarity, and decentralization, are already in the 1987 Constitution. What needs to be done is to operationalize these principles of federalism. So yun yung sabi ko nga kanina, na do we really need to change the form of government kung ang mga qualities na hinahanap natin, local autonomy, subsidiarity, yung pag-subsidize, di ba, and subsidiaries ng mga local units, as well as decentralization, nangyayari na sa current na constitution na meron tayo and in the current form of government, which is unitary, di ba? So parang, why do we need to spend so much for that? And why are our congressmen, our lawmakers, bakit ang ating mga congressmen, mga senador, why is even the president so interested in changing the form of government when we can't even solve our own problems now? What is the assurance that this change in government will cause di ba, like, biglang magbabago ang ating lipunan? Di ba? We don't have that assurance. Even mismo si Lord Gongdi, sabi niya, 3 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months, I assure you that. Oh, wala nga nangyari sa mga promises niya eh. 3 to 6 months na, ilang 3 to 6 months na yung ano. Ilang beses siya nagsabi niya, magre-resign daw siya. Nag-resign pa siya. Kasi alam natin, ang mga politiko natin, mga sinungaling at mga scammer. So alam natin, from this onset pa lang, that federalism, this push for federalism, this push for charter change, is just one big scam. Alam naman natin na ang federalism ang hindi sagot sa kahirapan, federalism ang hindi sagot sa korupsyon, federalism ang hindi sagot sa progress that we are looking for. Federalism is just a sham. Federalism is just one more pathetic excuse by our government officials to further amass power, to further perpetuate themselves to authority, and to further marginalize and oppress Filipino people. Yan ang tunay na layunin ng federalismo. Lalong pahirapan ang mga Pilipino at mas lalong palakasin ang kapangyarihan ng oligarkiya at ng mga political dynasties na matagal nang nakaupo sa ating gobyerno. This is what federalism is all about, and that is why I am against federalism. Yeah, by the way, I would just like to thank you, Mr. Rene V. Sarmiento. Actually, sinearch ko lang ito sa Google. Mr. Rene V. Sarmiento wrote the Q&A primer on federalism. So, yung Q&A primer on federalism, it's a book. I'm not sure if it's a book really, but it's basically a primer for
Everything you need to know.
everything. Parang federalism for dummies. Federalism 101. So si Mr. Rene V. Sarmiento is a professor of law in San Beda, my alma mater. He's also a lecturer at the UP Law Center and a former COMELEC commissioner. So if you would like to have a copy of the primer, pwede kayong bigyan niya ng libre. Just email renevsarmiento@yahoo.com. He's also putting up another primer on federalism. You may check this column at philstar.com. So basically yon. Maraming salamat sa iyo, Mr. Sarmiento, and I'm sorry if I used your material without your consent. Do we need to do that? May copyright something claim ba? O wala? Wala naman siguro, no?
Ano naman ikaw naman nag-explain.
Yeah, I mean, I explained. And hindi ko naman siya binasa like verbatim talaga. Like, di ba? This is like, sarap ng Expo Peanuts, pare. But anyway, yon. Basahin niyo yan para sa lahat ng mga nagmamagaling na mga Dutertards. Tulad ni Terence Crawford. Yan. Mag-away kayo, mag-debate kayo dyan ng federalism. Fuck federalism. Fuck Lord Gonggi, man. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat, mga kupal. Don't forget. Ano, men?
Hindi, sige. Okay. Kung malakas na masyado ito.
Okay. Hindi kasi masyadong intense na yung moment eh. Isama mo to yung gano'n. So yun, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat mga kupal. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the bell icon para ma-notify ng mga future updates. As well as follow us on Twitter kasi wala na kaming Facebook. Fuck you, Mark Zuck, my bird. And syempre, if you want to support our cause, the new revolution, ang Bagong Liwanag, buy us a Red Horse beer at patreon.com/Bagong Liwanag. Only costs $2 or 100 pesos. And we'll give you an awesome shout out. Again, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat and fuck federalism!